Today we're going to work on herbs that regulate qi and how we can memorize these more easily. So some points to remember on how to memorize herbs easily or how to remember it. One of the best ways for me anyway is remember what the herb is. For example, if you know if it's the leaves, if you know if it's the seeds, if it's the root, if it's the vine, you can tell more easily what the herb is going to do as far as its actions. And also, even just knowing the color of the herbs is going to be a very good indication of what channels it's going to enter, as well as being able to know if it's sweet, if it's sour, if it's going to be aromatic. And that'll really help you to remember the function. So starting with Chenpi. So this is aged tangerine peel. And just looking at the picture of it, it's obvious that this hasn't been dried in this picture, but I wanted it to be obvious that it's a tangerine peel, even though it hasn't been dried yet in this picture. So just looking at it, think what colors you see from the tangerine peel. So one of the two of the most prominent colors in that are going to be white and yellow, which will go for the metal element and the earth element. So that can coincide with this going to the lung, spleen, and stomach channels. And also, the peels of like lemons, oranges, tangerines, those tend to be very bitter. And also remember the functions of bitter. Bitter can clear heat and it can dry dampness, as well as opening orifices to help with difficult urination, as well as lower adverse rising qi. So going through the functions. It promotes and regulates the flow of qi, directs the qi downward, dries dampness, and transforms phlegm. For those symptoms, damp phlegm, coughs, low appetite, fatigue, loose stool, and copious viscous sputum. So one of the things I really want to point out here is especially low appetite and fatigue. And we see that's coming from some dampness. So you can think like someone has extra dampness on the inside of their body, and because of that you can feel extra full, and where even though you're feeling fatigued and can even feel hungry, but still a lower appetite. It's kind of a weird thing to explain, but it's kind of even in traditional Chinese medicine diagnosis, where it's kind of like thirst, but without a desire to drink water, kind of relating to that. And then we have adjust the middle jiao, gives relief to the diaphragm, treats stagnant qi in the spleen and stomach. And there we have that earth element. And that's for the symptoms of abdominal and epigastric distension, fullness, burping, bloating, nausea, and vomiting, and it helps to prevent future stagnation. And to help remember, you can think Chenpi for stagnant qi, or stagnant qi, try Chenpi, or we could even say feeling fatigued, try Chenpi. So we could even picture a commercial where someone is feeling bloated, nauseous, and fatigued, and maybe a friend says, like, oh, feeling fatigued, try Chenpi, or stagnant qi, try Chenpi. And another thing that's useful for remembering this herb is paying attention to how Chenpi dries dampness, especially how that dampness, could cause the damp phlegm coughs, the low appetite, the fatigue, the loose stools with the extra phlegm, because that's, if it was dryness, then it would be more dry stools. But there, because of the dampness, there's the loose stool and the copious and viscous sputum. And so next we have Qingpi. So this is the immature tangerine peel. Before Chenpi, we had the aged tangerine peels. Now we have the immature. So again, looking at the picture, so instead of this being orange on the outside or more reddish, or how before we were still, mainly focusing on the yellow and the white, but right now we're really looking at the green, as this is the immature tangerine peel. And so since we have the green, we have that going with the wood element, and that can help explain why this is going into the gallbladder and liver channels, as well as the stomach. We can remember that we still, should see some, the green turning into yellow, which can help go into that earth element for the stomach. And then a good caution to remember, this herb very intensely consumes qi, so must be used with caution for individuals with qi deficiency. And looking at the main actions, breaks up qi stagnation, spreads liver qi, or dredges, or you can think cleans out the liver for symptoms of chest pain, hernia, breast hypochondria, liver qi distension. Directs downwards, harmonizes the stomach. That's a big one to remember. Causes clumps to disappear, or more familiar TCM terminology would be dissipates clumps, and helps to remove stagnation for symptoms of food stagnation, extreme food stagnation, masses from blood stagnation due to qi stagnation. And how to remember, we can think Qingpi is immature, so immature tangerine peel. So we can think of immature kids kind of being very troublesome or being rowdy, and maybe a teacher or parent saying, hey, break it up. You should live in harmony for breaking up the qi and harmonizing the stomach. And we can say also kids are very dirty, have dirty rooms. Say also kids need to clean their room for clean out, dredge the liver. So next one, we still have tangerine peels, but at a different stage. So for this one, we have unripe bitter tangerine peel. So that's Zhishi, and this is bitter, acrid, slightly cold. And again, looking at it, we can still think the colors yellow and white for the metal channel and the, sorry, not metal channel, but the metal element and the earth element. So that going along with the large intestine, spleen, and stomach channels. So in its main actions are to promote the flow of qi, break up stagnant qi, and help remove accumulation. And for these symptoms, it'd be abdominal pain, gas, and indigestion. It transforms phlegms. This can be combined with qi tonics for rectal and urine prolapse, which would be very important to remember. And it can even raise blood pressure to treat hypotension. So Zhishi is unripened bitter tangerine peel. So I feel kind of mean to say this, but we can think of, kind of like the stereotypical old bitter person, maybe like Walter from Jeff Dunham, like the bitter old puppet. And we can think of the stereotypical kind of bitter old person having gas and possibly needing qi tonics for rectal or urine prolapse and hypotension, because as people get older, hypotension becomes much more of an issue. So next one, and I do apologize for, I'm not going to say these words completely correct, but I'll try. So next we have Jieku. So this is matured, almost ripe tangerine or orange fruit. So again, we have the metal and stomach channel, of course. We are looking at the same fruit after all. So large intestine, spleen, and stomach. bitter, acrid, slightly cold. And the 3 to 9 grams, we are going to see that very common, especially in this category of herbs that regulate qi. This one is as we don't see as many actions listed, but we still remember promotes the flow of qi, and symptoms being cough, constipation, or distension from qi stagnation. And how to remember? We can think kind of coughing sounds. So it's not the best coughing sounds, but you get it. And I'm sure you can do better coughing sounds than I can. Okay, next one. And yeah, again, I don't know how to pronounce these perfect, but we'll just call this one. Sorry, I feel so stupid trying to say these names, but I'll say Fosho, or it's finger citron fruit, or referred to as Buddha's hand. So again, looking at it, we still have, looks like yellow and white for, and possibly even a little green on there too, which could go for the wood element. So we have acrid, bitter, warm, liver, lung, stomach, and spleen channels. And again, 3 to 9 grams. And main actions, we have spread and regulate liver qi, harmonizes the stomach, tonifies the spleen, treats stomach and spleen qi stagnation. For symptoms like lack of appetite, belching, vomiting, epigastric pain, fullness, or distension. It stops coughing and transforms phlegm. Especially remember, the taste of bitter helps to dry dampness. So how to remember, and I apologize to, hopefully I don't offend anyone who's Buddhist. I'm not trying to offend anyone. This is just how I remember. But thinking of how this is called a Buddha's hand, think like you want to go see Buddha, oh, Fosho. Kind of, since I don't know how to say that, the Mandarin phrase for it, or we can think of coughing Buddha. So picture Buddha with a cough, since this helps stop coughing. And also think about Buddha's stomach. This herb, because this herb helps treat symptoms related to the stomach, such as lack of appetite, burping, fullness, etc., vomiting, epigastric pain, distension, but yeah, etc. So going on to the next one, and we have Dafu, and this is the husk of the areca or betel nut. So and this one is acrid, slightly warm, and going into the large intestine, small intestine, stomach, and spleen channels. And this one, not 3 to 9 grams, but 4.5 to 9 grams. And this one directs qi downward, eases the middle jiao for symptoms of qi stagnation from dampness or other things obstructing the middle jiao, promotes urination, reduces swelling, for symptoms like abdominal distension with swelling, superficial swelling, damp leg qi, and symptoms of food stagnation. And how to remember for Dafu Pi, we can think that fool needs to pee. So thinking that will direct the qi downward, peeing, it will reduce swelling and ease the middle jiao. And next one, we have Shangfu, and this is cypress seeds. And you can kind of see the green in the picture of the seeds. So, and with that, you would see the wood element, especially say for the like the liver and gallbladder. So this is acrid, slightly sweet, bitter, and neutral. And it goes into the liver, triple burner, and gallbladder channels. And before we were seeing 3 to 9 grams quite a bit. This one is 6 to 12. So, and this one promotes the flow of qi in the liver channel and stomach channel, regulates menstruation. For symptoms of disorders like dysmenorrhea or irregular menstruation, spreads and regulates the liver qi, and alleviates pain. So how to remember? So try to remember the green color, and that'll help to remember the liver and gallbladder channel in addition to the triple burner channel. But how to remember again? I think, give me Shang food. Because the way I'm thinking is kind of, this helps to treat a lot of, to help menstruation and treat irregular menstruation. So I'm thinking of, it's easy to picture a woman who's on her period having cravings for food, as women sometimes will. And remember, Shang Fu helps to regulate menstruation and alleviates pain. Okay, next one is Mushang, which this is costus root. And this is acrid, bitter, and warm. And there's the gallbladder, large intestine, spleen, and stomach channel, in addition to the triple burner. And again, we're back to 3 to 9 grams. And Mushang promotes the flow of qi, stops pain, tonifies the spleen, removes food stagnation, regulates and adjusts the stagnant qi in the intestines, and prevents stagnation. So we can, even going back and looking in that picture, you do see a yellow in that picture for the earth. For the earth element. You see white again, and I wanted to say you can see a little bit of green for the wood channel for the gallbladder. Sorry, not wood channel, but wood element. So hopefully that can kind of help you remember the channels that it's going to enter. But yeah, especially remember it tonifies the spleen. And how to remember. Must not have food stagnation, must not have food stagnation. So this is going to help remove food stagnation. And especially, and remember, help remove food stagnation, regulates and adjusts the stagnant qi in the intestines, as well as tonifies the spleen. And next one, we have Wu Yao, or Lindera Root. And this is an interesting one. It's also referred to as raven black medicine, or that's the English translation. And this one is acrid and warm. And I especially chose this picture because you can see when this was, when these slices of the root were baked, you see it'll start to darken a lot of it, where you'll see that black color, and that can help you to remember the urinary bladder and kidney for the water element. In addition, we still see the white and we see the yellow for the lungs and the spleen. So urinary bladder, kidney, lungs, and spleen. And again, 3 to 9 grams. But especially remember kidneys. That one is huge in this one. So this smooths the flow of qi, disperses cold, alleviates pain, promotes the flow of qi, and warms the kidneys. So to remember this, I kind of think of like a southern accent. Say maybe like a southern mom and her kids are playing outside, and she's and it's cold outside, and she wants to bring them in and to warm up, and say will y'all will y'all like to come in and warm up, or will y'all warm you up, or will y'all kids like to warm up? So with y'all kids, I think kids for the kidneys, for warming the kidneys. So will y'all kids like to warm up? So, and Wu Yao raven medicine is dry fried or baked until pale yellow, which strengthens its ability to warm the kidneys and relieve pain from cold and promote the flow of qi. So remember, it's baked, and so we have that warming quality, and especially you'll start to see that that dark rim come around it, where we can see that that darkness kind of symbolize the water element for the urinary bladder and the kidneys. And next one, we have Tanjong, or aloes wood, And another very interesting one, and you'll get into that very, very quickly. So this one is acrid, bitter. We can see I forgot to put the I in bitter. Acrid, bitter, warm, aromatic. And this enters the kidney, spleen, and stomach channels. And this one, a very little dosage, 1 to 1.5 grams. So Chenpi, this promotes the movement of qi, warms the spleen and kidneys, redirects rebellious qi to go downward, and regulates the middle burner. For symptoms of vomiting, burping, or hiccups from cold, spleen deficiency, or stomach deficiency. And this helps the kidneys grasp qi. That's very key part to remember in this one. And this for symptoms like asthma and wheezing from kidney deficiency. And alleviates pain from stagnant qi in the abdominal and epigastric regions. And this is very useful in treating coldness due to blood stasis or deficiency. So how to remember. So it is very interesting that Mushang is believed to keep away evil spirits. And it's an also anti-parasitic wood, and this is very expensive wood. So in looking at mythology, especially Chinese mythology, you can see like demons or evil spirits have a lot in common with parasites. So we can think of demons and parasites as living in dampness. Spleen dampness is very related to parasites in TCM. And trying to steal your qi. And Mushang helps the kidneys grasp qi. So you can think of like parasites trying to steal energy and nutrients from a body, or we could think of like demons trying to steal a qi or the life force from a person. So for this herb, especially think about the spleen, kidneys, and stomach. And to get into this a little bit more, I know it's, I could talk forever about this, and I just kind of rambled through it very undescriptively. But so for dampness, parasites tend to, they would tend to accumulate in very damp environments. You can think of like swamps, stool, where parasites can very well accumulate. And in mythology, demons or evil spirits would come out. They would like come out from the water or come out especially from swamps. And they kind of have like the same goals, where demons were trying to steal a person's life force, and parasites were trying to you can say, I don't want to say steal life force, but steal nutrition or steal energy from a person. So remember, we're helping the kidneys to grasp the qi to keep it from going away. And I think this is our last one, Tanjong. And this one is sandalwood. So especially think of sandalwood like sandalwood incense. This will help us remember it. So Tanjong. And this is acrid, warm, aromatic, and this enters the lung, spleen, and stomach channels. And this is 2 to 5 grams. So main actions, this unblocks qi stagnation in the chest, helps stop belching and nausea, helps alleviates and stops pain. For symptoms of pain from stagnant qi in the chest and or abdomen. So really think about the chest area, particularly the chest area, but remember chest and abdomen. This promotes the flow of qi and has been used for treating coronary artery disease actually. So remember, this is sandalwood. Think about sandalwood incense, and also think about even just sandals. So how to remember, you cannot walk on my chest. Like you cannot walk on my chest. Thinking of someone walking in sandals and walking on someone's chest. So Tanjong is sandalwood, And again, you can imagine walking on someone's chest with sandals would cause lots of issues related to the chest. So remember the chest, especially for this one. Unblocks qi stagnation in the chest and alleviates and stops pain from stagnant qi in the chest and or abdomen. And again, has been used for treating coronary artery disease. So very much having to do with the chest. And it looks like that was everything for, this will be part 1. Hopefully I'll have part 2 up soon. If there's any questions, feel free to comment below. And most likely you guys have better ideas too on how to memorize things than I do. Please feel free to tell me any helpful ways you have to remember them. Just if you do that, don't be mad if I use that in another video. If you give a suggestion that's really super helpful, I might share it in another video. So if I do that, don't get mad by, so we're going to say even by, you know, submitting a comment, you are agreeing that it's okay for me to use your suggestion, because I probably will. And just review, especially to remember the channels. Look at the herb, look at colors. That is very useful for looking at, for remembering functions. The tastes are very good. Good for looking at that. Remember, bitter is going to be drying. Aromatic, that's going to help dry damp. That's actually going to help dry dampness too. Both bitter and aromatic help dry dampness. And even like we were talking about earlier, Chenpi, you know, that's going to help improve the appetite actually. Or, you know, that was one of the symptoms was lack of appetite, and aromatic actually improves appetite and digestion. But just looking at things like that, it'll really help. I hope this video helps. I know I rambled on like crazy. That's been a habit of mine. But anyway, I hope this helps. Any questions, any suggestions, feel free to let me know. And I'll try to have another video out soon. Anyway, best of luck to everyone, and thank you for watching.